Well, it has been a hot minute since I've done a Blu-ray haul video. This is one of my favorite videos that I get to do with you guys over here. We've got a stack of 8 random movies that I just get to talk about with you guys. There are 8 new movies that I've added to the collection recently, and these are all the new additions since I've done the full collection video as of a couple months ago, which you can check out on the channel right now. And again, I just want to say thank you all so much for the support that you've shown those videos. It's absolutely flooring, it's crazy, and it's humbling. If you're new to the channel, what the heck are you waiting for? Welcome to the family. Do consider subscribing and tap on that thumbs up as well. We're talking all new things in cinema and all things geeky in the entertainment world over here, and it's a great community, and y'all are invited to join in. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you know the drill. I'm just gonna go ahead and rattle off these movies in no particular order, and just so you know, I do have individual reviews for all 8 of these releases. I'll go ahead and leave links to all of those down in the description box for you. Let's go ahead and start off with The Lone Ranger, a movie I reviewed for its 10th anniversary. It's a movie I was really expecting to hate, and you can hurl any insults you want at me down in the comments for thinking I'm a complete idiot for liking this movie. But I do. Different strokes for different folks, right? I thought Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer were both really good in the movie, and I feel like it is a movie that is about 10 years past its prime. Like, if this did come out before Curse of the Black Pearl, this movie probably would have stood more of a chance with critics a few years back, but no denying this is a very fun Western from Gore Verbinski. Speaking of fun, let's talk about The Flash for a second. I think the third act of this movie, the second act of this movie, those parts, in hindsight, really freaking good. Michael Keaton returning to the role that made him famous, Bruce Wayne / Batman, that was awesome to see. Danny Elfman's score swelling in the background when he does appear. It's really freaking neat. But this, again, just kind of feels like the studio piggybacking off of what Marvel did so well with the multiverse stuff. And they're kind of peer pressured to put their own multiversal movie out into the open. It is a better DC movie than you would expect. Certainly not without its problems, though, including some horrendous 2004-looking CGI. Up next is a pretty awkward movie, all things considered, no hard feelings. It's a nice return to form for Jennifer Lawrence after a couple years away from the industry. But I think her and young Andrew Barth Feldman do wonders together. I think they're both hilarious in this movie. And who knew? A pretty solid performance from Matthew Broderick as well. I have sat here and I've been a Matthew Broderick defender for I don't even know how long. This movie where he plays Andrew Barth Feldman's dad, his best performance in a long time. You want to talk about return to forms? Let's talk about Air for director Ben Affleck. Man, I've missed this guy. I think Air still holds up as one of my favorite movies of the year. As someone who is vaguely familiar with the story of the Air Jordan and how it came around, I think this movie does a wonderful job at captivating a casual audience member in a subject that they probably won't be fully interested in. Well, not to mention Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, besties reunited on screen. Great combination. Matt Damon is awesome in this. As is Jason Bateman, giving arguably the best performance of his career as well. Okay guys, now it's time to talk about The Little Mermaid, the remake here on 4K. Listen, this movie I owe so much to because this movie generated a lot of great success on my channel over the summer. This is now my highest viewed new movie review on the channel. Thank you to everybody who has smashed that thumbnail and given that review a look. It really does mean a ton. Now, some people might just say this is another trashy Disney remake. And yes, this is the best Disney remake in quite some time. I think this is the best Disney remake since Jungle Book. Now that is a very low bar. Don't get it twisted. It's a very low bar. But what I think this Little Mermaid remake does so effectively as opposed to the previous Disney remakes, it still catches the essence of what the original is trying to do, and it honors what the original is trying to do, but yet it also puts in enough subtle tweaks to make it stand out on its own. And plus, yeah, you have a very funny Awkwafina performance. Say what you want, I think she's funny. You want to talk about a Disney movie that doesn't get enough respect right now? It's Elemental. This is something I literally just picked up today at the time of recording. I think this movie is darling. I think you have a great central romance between Wade and Ember. And yes, this is a story that you've probably seen done a million times before. Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story, two feuding families with star-crossed lovers caught in the crosshairs of this rivalry. But this is a movie that I really was pulling for to do well at the box office, and it sadly didn't. And I think it's egregious that this movie did not pull in the money that it should have, because I know there were a lot of people complaining that Pixar was not putting out original content out in theaters anymore. They were just doing like Toy Story spin-offs, Toy Story sequels. They were complaining that there was no more originality. Elemental gives you that originality, so why did this movie not make enough coin? Now, I will say this. Is Elemental gonna hold up as one of Pixar's instant classics like a Monsters, Inc. or an Up? Probably not. Does it have the heart of Inside Out, or dare I say, the soul of Soul? I don't really think so, but I think this movie was ultra creative, very sweet, and it has such a riveting and heartbreaking ending. And even though it kind of does give you the formulaic Disney happy ending, it doesn't cheat in giving you that. So if you haven't seen Elemental, I definitely recommend it. Oh, this was one I was so excited to add to this collection. This is part of like a big, gigantic press release of all these Disney shows that were getting Steelbook releases. This is the first one. Loki Season 1. Finally! I have said many times on this channel that this was my favorite Disney Plus show, at least to come out of the Marvel world. This one was where it was at for me. I loved the time-traveling aspect of it. I loved the ramifications that it gave the future of the MCU. And might I add, this Steelbook is absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at that thing. It's just so freaking cool. I can't wait to see what kind of bonus features they have up their sleeve. And I cannot wait for Loki Season 2 to get started. October 5th cannot come soon enough. Last but certainly not least, sticking in the Marvel world, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, because of course I had to add this to the collection. I saw this in theaters twice, and you know what? It still holds up as one of my favorite movies of the year. Now, is it going to hold up as one of the greatest movies of all time like some of my YouTube colleagues are saying it is? Hold the reins back a little bit, y'all. Like, I'm just now starting to come around to the idea of calling Infinity War a masterpiece. That movie's 5 years old. Give this movie a little bit more breathing room before you put it on that high of a pedestal. Not to say that that's unwarranted, but I think calling this movie a masterpiece when it's only about 2 months old, I think that's a little bit far-fetched. Absolutely no denying that the animation in this movie, far better than Into the Spider-Verse. The ideas that are presented in Across the Spider-Verse, far better than its predecessor. And I think once the time comes around for the Oscars to start revealing their categories, when Best Animated Feature is brought up, that is this movie's category to lose. Because if Into the Spider-Verse could win that category in 2018, and when I consider this movie better, and when the majority of my peers thinks this movie is better, it's absolutely going to win. There is no question about it. It is one of the better Spider-Man stories to come out in recent memory, and it's one of my favorite Spider-Man performances, and one of my favorite Spider-Man villains in 2099, voiced by Oscar Isaac. Made me want to see more of Spider-Gwen. Haley Steinfeld voices the hell out of that character. Guys, if you haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse, you're probably living under a rock, if I'm being honest. But please, I urge you, watch this. Alright, well that will about do it. That is what your movies will look like on the shelf. You have some really nice looking spines for each release. Guys, one more reminder, hit that subscribe button, tap on that thumbs up as well on your way out. And stay tuned for more exciting videos very soon. I'm going to be starting my Halloween special this Sunday, October 1st. And I'm going to be reviewing a classic. Stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. 14 movies to get to this October. Along with all the other new releases. It's going to be a fun time over here. I'm just closing up my show this weekend. So my schedule as far as content creation is concerned, it's going to be a lot more open as we close out 2023. And I'm excited to get to it, my friends. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.